Yes.
Single-handedly
Borrowing.
contributed to like 6 years of my life being spent in modding.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking cool.
I just played Elder Scrolls on my Xbox for, I think my total hours on Xbox 360 was like 1,200.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was bad. And then PlayStation, I've got 600 hours on Xbox One, not PlayStation. Jesus, leave me the fuck alone. I'm sorry, I'm playing Sekiro while I wait.
Mixed messaging.
Oh, how good is it compared to the other Dark Souls games?
I think it's harder because you don't get weapons or anything. So you can't change your weapon depending on what boss you're fighting. You just have to get really good at this one weapon.
Is that the game that's like open world samurai kind of thing, feudal Japan? Yeah. Okay.
I've heard people say that like it's kind of an unfair comparison to tie it so closely with Dark Souls because it's supposed to be a Ninja Gaiden game, and it actually like thematically ties in closer with Ninja Gaiden than Dark Souls.
People probably just do that because that's like From Software's game design style at this point. Make a game that punishes you, but rewards you.
It was also originally supposed to be like the spiritual successor of the Tenchu games.
Ah, I loved the Tenchu games.
So did I.
They were hard, but I loved them.
I don't think they got a fair reputation. Hi, cat. And any game that's got a grappling hook in it as a main mechanic is my kind of game.
Yeah, that's good shit.
All right. Who is not online?
Anais is playing League right now, but she's
Fuck you.
What the hell, man?
Okay.
Sorry.
Timing.
Yeah, it was
this
very
like this big ass brute dude with a shield just kept fucking me up, and I killed him.
No, you are very angry at people who are playing League of Legends. I get it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a League fan.
All right,
but
so so Cody's online, Anais is online, Mikhail is online, Morgan is online. Although it looks like he's not into Roll20 yet. Yep.
Oh shit! I gotta log into Roll20. I'm over here.
Ah, that's who else I'm missing. Okay, good. I'm going to try. I downloaded the Roll20 app to my phone, which does not have the it doesn't have like the map component, and it doesn't have you can't create new pages or like edit pages, but you can flip between the different like journal entries, which is mostly helpful to me as the DM, but we'll see if this ends up actually being valuable. Minimize. All right, we're on to this chapter. We're in Never Went to University, which is part of Nartha Tezrin's quest. Okay. All right. So we finished our last game. You guys had spoken with... God. All right. You guys had spoken with Professor Simone de Golf and negotiated some payment. Or actually, the timeline is you spoke with her and showed her the thing. She is leaving to go like talk to the bursar's office and then is going to come back to you for the negotiations, and we're going to start with the time in between. All right. So I don't know what I said exactly last time, but I think we can say that it's like mid-afternoon at this point. Let's say 3:30, and you guys have to kill time until like 9 o'clock tomorrow. So I want to know what each of you is doing in order.
Who wants to go first?
Hogarth's going building and checking out. I think he would started working with someone on upgrade to one of his weapons. I'm gonna go back and pursue
you
that.
found the like engineering department.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go hang out there.
All right, I like that. Okay.
I'm gonna go last because I don't want to mess up anybody's stuff.
Okay, yeah, you go last. I know Wex is the other one who should probably go last because we have a big thing we're doing with Wex. Aeneas, do you have anything you want to do at the university?
I want to look for a magical instrument.
Oh, cool. All right. I did not even think to include a like bardic section on this college. There is a liberal arts section.
That's good enough.
Well, I think the liberal arts section is where the like more musically inclined, like bardic kind of students are going to practice their art. But I think there's probably, I'm going to say there's a section in the arcane sciences building that focuses on bardic magic, which works under kind of a different like physics system than other magic systems. So yeah, if you want to find people that are like in the context of performing liberal arts, if you want to find people that are in the context of like their magic itself, then arcane sciences, and the library is where all kinds of like magical artifacts are stored. However, those are not like for sale.
I don't have to buy them.
I mean,
I heard that.
I know. That's why I mentioned it.
They're not for sale, but they're for steal.
Yeah, basically.
That is why I mentioned that that's where they could be found.
Gimple would be interested in stealing shit.
Going.
Oh my god.
God, we're just a party of crooks.
Quick question.
Yes.
So Hogarth would be headed towards T7, alchemical and mechanical sciences, right?
Yeah, let's start moving people.
Sahbeik would probably be following Hogarth.
Okay. Oh, right, because you're interested in like alchemical kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So Lunara.
The whole time I'd be glowering at people along the way and just kind of stomping my foot and tearing at vegetation as I pass it.
God, you're so petty.
Students at this university are definitely not used to dealing with people like Sahbeik. So I think that there's a lot of like people nervously and awkwardly like moving out of his way. We know what Wex is doing eventually. Vanitas, what are you doing?
So Vanitas' aim has kind of changed a bit because I've been on a supernatural binge.
Okay.
He's gonna try to learn more about like exorcising demons and stuff. Because I feel like that'd be a cool little thing to add to his character.
Okay. Important character question to flush out for Vanitas. How far into Supernatural are you?
I am on. I actually just finished the Christmas episode in season 3.
Very good. Okay, yes. Lindsay decided she was going to try to watch the whole series a while ago, and I think she got to like season 10 or something.
Oh, that's where I'm gonna watch the entire series. Like I've dedicated this much of my life to it already. So
yeah, the more power to you. Okay, so Flora and Fauna Conservatory might have examples of some undead. Divine Sciences. Yeah, I'm gonna say you want to go to the Divine Sciences building.
All right, well, that'll be where he goes. Because I originally wanted to like look more into the shadow stuff, but I feel like
no, I dig it, and I think that there's probably some overlap there as well. Definitely monk-based skills are closer related to the Divine Sciences. I'm not going to get too much into it here, but at one point early on, I wrote up like a thesis on magic in these worlds and the how the divine arcane dichotomy doesn't cover it all because there has to also be a like internally powered magic, which would be something like what monks do, and I just call that psychic magic. But that is not relevant today.
Everything's relevant. You just have to learn how to present it as relevant.
So
Gimbal might be interested in stealing or being an accomplice to stealing, but he's also interested in seeing if he can enchant his Ruthless Fist or his axe. Because it's a magical college, anybody as well take this opportunity.
Oh,
no,
I also need to
have
enchant the lid to my tankard.
Did you not enchant that already?
No, remember I was going to, but he was charging a lot.
He gave you something after you saved the town.
I don't remember that.
Something with your tankard.
I don't remember. I think. Oh no, you said it enchanted it to where it worked like a alchemist's ring for potions. Drinking a potion out of it would increase the efficiency of the potion.
Yeah, and there was something else as well. It's sealed to never leak, and it has an easy sip straw.
Oh, that's what it was.
It also triples the potency of the drink. Yeah. That's very good. Okay. Gimbal, I think it's more interesting if we move you over to look into the Alchemical and Mechanical Sciences building to look into an enhancement.
Okay.
So you already have an enchanted sword. What else were you asking about?
The Ruthless Fist.
Oh, yeah.
I want
that.
Interesting. Bit fire and fury.
Okay. So Wex and Lunara are going to go together to visit the library. You pass, all that campus description I did last week happens as you head to the library. You get in there. It is a massive library. It is let's say 15 stories above ground and
Jesus.
Like several more like you cannot know how many stories extend below ground, but yes. So there's a main entranceway which is immediately divided into two sections. There is the public stacks and then the, I don't know, let's call it like academic stacks. And the public stacks are open to the public and undergrad students and stuff. Academic stacks, you need a letter of approval to get into. There is a desk with a student working some kind of like student internship job as a secretary. And I'm going to say there's a few other students that are wearing like robes that look kind of like they might be, I'm trying to imagine like campus security kind of uniforms, but in the form of wizard robes.
Okay.
They've got the little armbands.
Yeah. And then the one other thing I want to mention.
So they look like the guys from Equilibrium.
The one other thing I want to mention is that the way this is kind of set up is that the front desk here is the person who can kind of like help you find whatever you need. So they're advertised as like your starting place. How would you like to proceed?
Wex, do you want to go first? What you're doing is way more important than what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can go. I didn't know if you needed a diversion to get around, or can you just like skulk around in shadows and get to what you need?
Oh, that's a good question. What's the light level like in here? What time is it?
I'm gonna need to know that as well, because I might help.
It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it is well lit. It's I mean, this is a campus library in one of the nicest colleges in the continent. It's got magical lamps all over the place. This is not some like back room brothel.
I think I'll just skulk around for now.
Okay.
Lunara has clicked like the left thumbstick in and entered skulking position, but is currently just standing in the foyer.
Gone prone. Just so y'all know, I don't know exactly what Sahbeik is looking for, but there's a chance that I'll come over towards the library. And I mean, he's not really cool with anybody around him. So if you need a distraction or misdirection, then I'm your guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're there yet, but if it kind of goes that way.
Keep in mind, you guys do have to wait until 9 o'clock tomorrow to get your money.
Okay, so don't mess with the money yet. We'll just
also,
do the
Sahbeik
Ocean's
really
12
doesn't
later.
care about money, so be careful.
Okay,
that's true.
So yeah, I would like to approach the front desk and take some parchment that I have in my bag, put a seal on it and hand it to the person at the front desk and say, I'm here to check on some very important information for the dean. Can you assist me with that?
I'm sorry, did you just walk up, grab some parchment out of your bag, stamp it in front of him, and say, I'm with the dean?
Yeah, that's happening.
This is how hard the dean rolls.
Roll deception.
Roll deception.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Good times.
I'm going to say that you do it in a way that makes more sense than what you canonically said, but yeah, you're able to give him good evidence that you are working with the dean's office. He's going to say, okay, yeah, what can I help you with?
So I'm here looking for a very particular horn. Who would be the best person to assist me with that?
He's going to say, well, I can reach out to, if you can give me some basic information about the horn that you're looking for. Are you looking to find a physical artifact or information on an artifact?
I would like the physical artifact.
Okay. Then we will send you to probably the academic stacks, and you can talk to the front desk in there, and they have people who can help you find items.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
All right. The guard is going to really, Cat?
I was like, man, the guard is coming heavy.
Oh shit, the cops, be cool.
The guard pulls his wand out, and he's going to cast a very particular spell, and the door to the academic stacks opens, and he's going to wave you through. Lunara, you did come in with Wex. Are you going to try to just play it off that you're with him?
Yeah, I'm probably like, I'm gonna be stalking around, but I'm gonna be sticking close to Wax. That way, if anybody's like, "Hey, why are you acting all weird in here?" I'm gonna be like, "I'm with the guy that's with the dean, so like, leave me alone."
Great. I freaking love this idea of Wex being this like cool, composed, like secret agent kind of guy, and Lunara's fucking so good. Okay. All right. Wex, you're into academic stacks. You go up to the like secretary person there, and you say you're looking for a horn. He's going to ask you to describe what you know about the horn. And 1 second. Click show to players. Did you get that pop up?
Yep.
All right. Well then, you should have the information that I've decided is like information Wex would have available to him,
Okay.
as well as a nice picture of the Horn of Winter.
No, I don't see.
So, do you want to just give them a physical description of the item, or how are you going to help them identify it?
Yeah, I want to give the very physical description because it's I think just the size and kind of the heft to it would really help it stand out. And then I just want to point them to the engraved runes and see if there's anyone who might even understand the language that was engraved on it.
Now, does Wex have the runes from the Horn of Winter, like, memorized?
The same runes are the ones that are like branded on my arm.
Oh shit. Okay. Very interesting. Then yeah, let's see. How would they go about this? All right, then she is going to take a note of those runes and pass it off to another assistant who's going to start checking through the index section, which is an entire, like, the size of a normal library is like the index of this library. There are indexes for the indexes. So this person says that they will look into, if we have any horns on record that have runes matching that, or if you can give them any other information about the horn, it will help them narrow down possible candidates.
The only information I'd be interested in offering up without being pressed better would be about it being connected to the frost giants and maybe having something to do with the frost giants of this land.
Okay, very good. Then they think this student asks that he says it's going to take him about an hour to work through the indexes, and at that point he'll be able to get back to you with whether or not he even thinks that, like, they have something that might be worth investigating.
That's fine. I would be happy to wait. This is for the dean's office, so as soon as they can get it.
Are we good with this group then?
I'm cool, unless Lennar, did you need to do something right now?
No. I mean, if we're gonna have to wait to get our payout, anyways, I think I'm just gonna keep taking it around. I'm
Sure.
not in a hurry.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were ready to start trouble yet.
Let's do Vanitas next. You're heading to the Divine Sciences building. It's a sort of cathedral, although it does have a much more, like, academic context to it than most cathedrals you've been to in the past. Like, the rooms don't feel like, prayer halls. They feel like lecture halls still. What are you looking for specifically?
Bran, your mom says hi.
Hi, Mom.
He says hi, Mom.
Oh.
Oh,
That was very wholesome.
Brin loves her mommy.
Oh my god. Hey, Cody. Hey, Cody, what's your character doing in the Divine Sciences building?
He is looking into I don't know, new mantras and like what helps prevent possessions and just random shit that would be useful to somebody trying to stop bad things from being bad anymore.
Do you want to just like pick a class and sit in on it?
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
Fuck. Somebody help me brainstorm some classes that might be taught in the Divine Sciences building.
Catechism.
Metallurgy,
Yeah,
you and God, 102.
Or arcane catechism. Speaking in tongues. It's not just for professors anymore.
That's pretty good.
keep going. Keep going.
There's a class going on about the planar system. That's
Sacred
going
geometry.
to deal with the different planes. Huh?
Sacred geometry.
The teleporter should be religious too, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that would be sacred geometry because that's
Okay.
actually a thing. Like using the
Teleporter?
energy of the lines of the Earth or whatever.
Yeah,
Points of power
Mako.
and all
Yeah.
See, these are all definitely things that would be taught at this school, but I'm thinking some of them might actually fall more under like arcane stuff.
What's a terrible elective these kids should all have to take? I mean, obviously that doesn't make it an elective, but like basket weaving, it needs to be something super mundane.
Demigods and their symbols.
Fuck, no, it's definitely religious texts.
So the Masters of Doom.
The whole class is you just have to read the religious texts of each of the like main pantheons.
Necromantic scripture.
It's mind-numbing.
Scripture.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
My character's life just got a lot more boring.
Dead languages.
Fucking, this is a good one. There's a class called Death and the Dead that is teaching about, the spirit and, undead and just, sort of the whole existence after death.
So my mental picture of this, because the first idea that I got when you said Death and the Dead was of the book that's in Beetlejuice. So now I'm just seeing like the waiting room in Beetlejuice, but as a schoolroom.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
That's pretty good.
Definitely, I need you guys to Google Johns Hopkins
Oh God.
person Wikipedia.
His
Maybe
name is
just Johns
John.
Hopkins person. Oh yeah, just Google Johns Hopkins person and look at the top result on Google Images. So that guy is the professor of Death and the Dead. He definitely gives you real bad vibes.
Oh,
When you
God.
look at him.
Wow.
Men in Black Edgar.
Please take that
Yeah.
Clash.
More
All right,
sugar.
Vanitas.
Sugar water.
All right,
The lesson today is.
Vanitas, what are you doing?
I'm not staying for that class.
Sure.
Are you staying for any of these classes?
None of them sound awfully interesting, so I'm just gonna. I guess he's just gonna like walk in class, like walk in just out loud. Nope. Turn around, walk out, and continue doing that until he finds something he enjoys. And then anyone who wants to yell at him for not staying in the class, he's going
Oh,
to.
no. They just assume that he's a new student and he's just checking out the classes. All right, then here's one. How about there's one called Body and Spirit that is about the attunement between an individual, their spirit, and its relationship with magic, both internal and called from the divine.
That one sounds at least mildly interesting for a monk.
Sure. Okay. So you can sit in on that. I'm going to give you a benefit, but first, do you have anything that you want to like ask? Like do you have any detail you want me to give you?
How does the soul and the body stay connected when traveling through a different realm? Because that's something I do. I travel through shadows, and somehow I'm good.
Oh, okay. So I think it's going to the answer to that question is going to have to do with the spirit lattice and how each physical body has a sort of each physical body has kind of like a lock to it. Like it has a pattern to it that only one particular spirit can fit into. And then spirits themselves don't exist in any one physical place. They exist in the spiritual realm where all things exist in all places simultaneously. So your spirit actually exists everywhere in the universe simultaneously for all of time, but is only able to sync up with you at the places where your spirit's sort of like key pattern matches up with your body's like lock pattern, if that makes sense.
How much thought did you put into this?
I read Brandon Sanderson books.
I was just about to say, this sounds like the Fade from Dragon Age.
Yeah, I was literally just like throwing out some spitball questions that sounded really hard to answer. And you're just like, oh, yeah.
Books. They go
Fucking
extensively into magic systems like this.
You know, just simple geometry.
I dig the question. All right, so I think that's what I'm going to give you. And then I'm going to give you I'm going to give you what is effectively an item. So add this to your inventory, your bio, like however you keep track of items. You now have an item that is, in quotes, like body and spirit class. And this is an item you can call upon to give you advantage on checks to do with religion and the spirit and like spiritual magic and stuff once. Or actually, I'll just go ahead and say it's because advantage one time is not great. it just lets you succeed on one check like that.
Okay. All right. Should I put it in the item, or should I just put it in the bio and put the lets me it, or will you just remember what it does?
I will not remember what it does. Its name is Body and Spirit Lesson. Mention that it lets you succeed at one check to do with religion and the spirit. Okay. So, Gimbal and Hogard, followed by a very irritated Sahbeik, are going to the Alchemical and Mechanical Sciences building. Hogard is going there to, talk with some students about what they're studying with mechanics. Gimbal wants to see if any of them are willing to experiment on his gauntlet. And Sahbeik, have you told anybody why you're going to this building?
Sahbeik hasn't told anyone that he's looking for something, but he's looking for a small figurine, think like the size of a small little army man toy, but shaped like a dragon, carved out of wood. Something that he remembers from his time on the table with the alchemist.
Okay, interesting.
But that being said, I'm just following closely behind Hogard and Gimbal. Since they're little guys, I'm kind of giving them the whole...
Remind me...
There's a big guy following them, so don't fuck with him.
Yeah, very good. Sahbeik, remind me to come back to that, because that's very good. And I have a plan for how I'm going to continue with that. So, Hogard, while looking around the building, you find a room that looks like like metal shop in like a high school or college. Like there's a lot of advanced machinery. Students are working on their own projects. Can you make a some kind of social check? Maybe a persuasion check to talk to some students?
All right, just a second. I have to remember how to pull up my user stuff.
You hold Alt and double click on your character. And it looks like you actually took specialization in persuasion. You're persuasive as hell.
Hold on. There you go. All right. Okay, so what am I double clicking on?
You hold Alt and you double click on your characters.
I've got it. I've got my bio sheet open. So.
You just click on the word persuasion in your skills section.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Then you find a student who is, you hit it off with him. He's actually not like the star pupil of the class. He's kind of like a C student, but he really likes talking with you. And working with him, you are able to come up with your idea for your custom crossbow. Yeah, but when you build your original prototype with him, it's actually going to have a faulty spring mechanism because he, messes up on the measurements for that part. And Hogard is actually going to recognize this later and have to correct it on the road. I could give you like a mechanical benefit that would kick in, or mechanical penalty that would kick in at some point because of that, but I would forget about it, so let's not pretend.
Okay, well, I will put that in my notes.
Okay. Gimbal, as you look around, remember that there are these big, this is kind of relevant to everybody in like looking for whatever thing you're looking for. There are these big floating like crystal balls that when you walk up to them have kind of like an HUD display that or more like a holographic display that is like asking you how it can be of assistance. And these are the things that can help you find whatever area you're looking for. Gimbal, you are able to find your way to the west wing of the Alchemical and Mechanical Sciences building, and you find the section that deals with enchantment. So this is actually connected with the section that Hogard went to. It's just kind of like the next in line. There's the like building the physical item, building the mechanical enhancements on it, building the the like magical enchantments to go with those. It's actually going to be the same class as Professor DeGolf, who you guys had visited originally. It's her same section is going to be teaching about this. So let me get a persuasion roll from you as well.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, good.
Wow. You have a significantly lower bonus than Hogard does. You got the same roll. Okay. So, same deal. You find a student who can help you, but he's not exactly a top of the class student. Do you have anything you would like to change about your Ruthless Fist?
I would like to make it more powerful, but I just don't know what the possibilities are. Like, this whole craft is new to me.
Yeah. So just making things more powerful is tricky. It's actually kind of ironically something that people in this field struggle with a lot, because if you just want, the thing is, like, if you have a sword and you want that sword to be better at like killing somebody, you just make it sharper. Maybe you do some enhancements to make it stronger so that it's not as likely to ding. You have to get kind of creative if you actually want to go beyond just the basics. I've got a good one for you. How about something that utilizes the existing mechanic of the Ruthless Fist, which already kind of like draws on your body's own like vital force to enhance you, but channels it in a different direction. This allows you to regain key points using your Ruthless Fist. So essentially it would siphon away a chunk of your hit points to recharge key points.
Interesting. Yes. It sounds interesting.
I'm trying to decide what a fair trade on this is. All right, so he is able to set this up for you.
I mean, I'll do his homework.
I would normally say that since you have only average intelligence, he's probably getting a bad deal there. But he's already a C student, let's be real. This is as good of an offer as he's gonna get.
Well, kid, this is your lucky day. I'll make your C paper a C plus.
Okay, then here's what I'll give you. Add this to your like magic item inventory, which I think most people have just been keeping in their bio.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
What is your weapon called?
Ruthless Fist.
All right, so you've got Ruthless Recharger, enhancement of Ruthless Fist. What it does is
I'll be right back.
okay. Okay. That's what I'll give you. For now, once per day, you can recharge 1 key point. Okay, never mind. I want to make this a better deal. All right, there you go. You can recharge any number of key points, but however many key points you recharge, you're going to take a proportionate amount of damage, and you can only use this once per day. So you can't, like, recharge 2 key points, and then later in the battle you think you need a little more, so you, like, risk it a little more. Like, you get 1 shot at it, you need to make the gamble on how much you're willing to risk to get your key points back. So type that in there, or copy and paste or whatever. That's your new enhancement that you get. Sahbeik.
Sahbeik's actually going to be away for a few minutes. He's got to clean out the litter box.
All right. Very good. We'll get back to him then.
All right.
Wex. The student has finished going through the indexes, and he regrets to inform you that they don't have any item in the archive that matches your description. However, they do have several encyclopedia kind of books that refer to that list out different magical artifacts that are, famous and known around the world and stuff like that. Like, basically just an archived encyclopedia of known magical artifacts. And he can check that for you, but it's going to be at least another hour.
I don't really have that amount of time. This is for the dean.
Until 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, well, I thought I was trying to rush him through this. Well, then I guess I'll sit here for another hour. I'm sorry, Lunara. Yeah, I want to rush this kid because it's for the dean. Like, there should be some other undergrads or something in here that need to do this.
You know what? You've already proved that you're persuasive as hell. You're able to put some pressure down, and he essentially gets 3 4 other interns that are working in the same area to help him, and they're going to split up the encyclopedias and are all going to check together. And I mean, it'll take like half an hour.
Very good. I'm going to sit back and cross my legs.
They say that it will take half an hour. It's actually 15 minutes after that one of them starts jumping up and down and exclaiming, and is like, I found it. And he is going to say, okay, the Horn of Winter. He's going to hold up a illustration and ask if this is the horn you're looking for. It is a perfect illustration of the horn that we popped up on the screen a while ago.
Yeah, I'll shake my head up and down.
Okay. He's going to say, all right, interesting. We don't have this. And actually, this artifact has not been seen. Let me make sure that I have this right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. This horn has not been seen for a long time. We only have, old records that refer to its existence. However, it does seem to kind of reappear every so many hundred years, and usually around a time that is involved with significant turmoil with the giants. We don't know exactly what is involved, but the speculation is that something related to the appearance of this horn triggers the sort of descent into anarchy of the several different giant tribes. Usually prior to this, the giant tribes are very stable, and if people have conflict with giants, it's usually because one of our countries has upset one of their countries, or somebody impeded on a giant's territory or something. You don't have giant civil wars, stuff like that on a regular basis.
Okay.
Except for in the time around when this horn appears. Every time it appears. When it does appear, the few times that we have on records, we have to make some allowances for how credible these records are, but it seems like the horn is usually eventually found by the current giants in their civil war, and whoever finds the horn usually goes on to be the person that is then the leader of giant society for the next however long, until the next giants reckoning, the next fall into giants anarchy. And usually when that happens, the horn disappears. So yes.
Okay. Are there any other historians or any elders on this campus that might know of the last time it was around?
Like what was happening in the world the last time that it showed up?
Yeah, maybe what the world state was, and maybe a general location for where it was last seen.
Sure. Yeah. So they'll point you towards a certain history professor, and I'm gonna mess up the timeline a little bit here because I'm gonna jump ahead with you to have this conversation so I don't forget about it and lose my place. They point you to a certain history professor. Somebody give me a good professor name. He's a gnome.
Professor Gromswell.
Fuck yes. Okay, he points you to Professor Gromswell, who is actually in the liberal arts building, is where they teach history and stuff like that. Professor Gromswell, what is the chance that Wex catches him at his office at 11 at night just before he's about to head home?
I'd say it's pretty likely.
I think that's what happens. Wex ends up catching him just as he's about to leave his office, and Professor Gromswell is very grumpy about this. What do you say to him? What are you requesting?
I don't know if it's more interesting for him to have to know world history or, gosh. Yeah, I kind of want to press him about the timeline for the last, when the horn was last seen in this world, and I kind of want to frame
what was happening in the world.
Yeah, what was the world state? Kind of what was happening in the world at the time.
Okay. So you bring him the description of the Horn of Winter and the notes you took from this book, and the description of the Horn of Winter actually recorded that it was last seen, let's say, 500 years ago. Professor Gromswell is going to say, all right, 500 years ago. Okay, yeah, this was an interesting period. I assume you haven't taken my, Middle Histories class yet, or else you would know this.
No, not yet.
I'm sure you'll have it next semester. And he gives you a wink. But just to give you a little preview, 500 years ago, he starts droning off about some of the basic states of affair in the world, where technology was at and stuff. And then he's going to kind of click his fingers and he goes, oh, I know. That was the time when the last great empire of giants fell. And he will give you the name of an empire of giants, which I cannot give you right now because I would have to get distracted.
Okay,
there is a
fine.
canonical name to this empire of giants.
Okay.
That empire of giants fell in this big chaotic civil war. Hundreds of significant cities around the continent were destroyed. Human countries were just crushed altogether. He's going to mention one particularly dramatic country that got involved in this war, and it is the country that was mentioned in the story that Gimble's two magical artifacts mentioned.
Okay.
And most importantly, the structure of giant society as a whole was completely reformatted. This is when we saw the restructuring of giant society into the elemental clans with storm giants on top, and then the cloud giants working as bureaucratic officers, and he's all right. He's going to give you a listing of giant hierarchy, and this is actually something that I kind of need to actually give you. So
okay,
give me a second to look it up. Come on, Dramatis Personae. Don't need that. Introduction. Actions. I need giants. Let's see if the wiki has it. Was that somebody's cat?
Yeah, sorry.
I was about to ask the same thing. That
It
sounded
was. It used to be.
He did.
All right. So the Storm Giants, after the Civil War that where this empire fell, this horn was found by a tribe of elves during that Civil War, who were crushed by an army of Storm Giants who took the horn. And we know some of this due to diplomatic meetings and stuff with the Storm Council and
Wonderful.
they're gonna name drop some important Storm Giant who now I have to find. Hecaton. King Hecaton is the
Hecaton.
the Storm Giant who found the horn. And shortly afterwards, the Giant Civil War came to an end with the Giant Society restructured. Storm Giants as the ruling class on top, Cloud Giants beneath them working as their kind of bureaucratic aides and scholars.
The bourgeoisie.
Yeah, between those two. I mean, to do the French aristocracy comparison, you can think of the Storm Giants as the aristocrats and the Cloud Giants as like the clergy. And then there's Fire Giants, Frost Giants, and Stone Giants, who are all the sort of like crafting merchant class. And then you have all of the Hill Giants, Ettins, Ogres. Those groups stay at the bottom of their society and are treated as kind of like serfs or menial labor. And then there are subsections within each of the elements of giants that determines how they rank themselves within those sections. We don't know too much about those.
That's understandable. But wonderful, Professor. If you could do me one last boon,
Sure.
Could you show me on this map where in the world the Storm Giants have their stronghold now?
Bren, the DM, does not know the answer to that question. I feel like they should like have they should have like a capital.
Yeah, because like after all that civil,
it's probably
and
like
social
a
struggle, they would have done
level in this campaign.
that. Maybe.
I kind of imagine them just having a kingdom in the
one second.
clouds, personally.
Storm Giants, that
Jack
does
and the
sound
Beanstalk
right.
style.
We're about to make a deal in Cloud City.
I'm down to go to Cloud City. That would be so frustrating for Sahbeik because nothing would have substance. Just punch and whiff.
Oh, Ostoria.
Storia. Okay.
Wait.
Hmm.
Do you want to
Wait.
just go full Astera or
What, the European pagan goddess Rebirth? Easter?
Why do you know that?
Esther?
Because I used to be Wicca.
Okay, Ostoria is actually Ostoria is the name of the empire that fell. Let's see what happens if I look up Hecaton. Is it named Stormseat?
That's pretty cool.
Sorry.
No, wait. Okay. I'm taking a gamble here and hoping that I'm not giving you any information that like unbalances the campaign, but I think that your characters have to learn this at some point, and I think that this is a perfect like opportunity to drop it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to learn about the city of Maelstrom, like dramatic storm, Maelstrom. It's a massive stronghold located in the trackless sea, which is the ocean west of the continent of Faerun. Let me
All right.
look on the map to see if we have it here. However, Maelstrom is not accessible to most mortals. Even if you had a way to traverse the seas and, use some kind of like magic or something to get under the ocean, it is, last we checked, a stronghold held by storm giants and is like
Wait, it's under
one
the
of
ocean?
the most. Huh?
It's under the ocean?
Under the ocean.
But they're storm giants.
Well, now they're ocean storm giants.
Mind blown.
Yep. Actually, I will go ahead and move all the players temporarily to the map of the north. Anybody who's a DM, move yourself there. And look in the far bottom left of this map, you will see where the city of Maelstrom is located.
Okay. That's good.
However, it is for all intents and purposes, inaccessible. And also, yeah, you know what? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to retcon a little bit of what I told you earlier. I said that the horn is found. The person who finds it, sets up a new giant society, and then it stays with them until the next, the fall of that society. I'm going to retcon that. After the horn is found and giant society is, rebuilt, the horn is then immediately, it disappears. And this is a matter of public record. So, nobody has seen this horn in this realm for, 500 years.
Okay.
It is not believed to still exist in the city of Maelstrom.
It's 400 miles offshore.
Mm-hmm.
And deep down.
He's going to say, hey, if you want more information about this horn, or, the state of the giant civil war or anything like that, you'll really have to talk to a giant. They're very secretive and, mortals or, little folk, as they call us, don't really know too much about their society.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That works. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor.
Switching people back to university, and I need to go get a drink.
All right.
back. Mikhail,
Yep.
can I give you a job while I work on the other people?
Yeah, you got it. What's up?
Can you make a new document in the journal section and write down all and but afterwards I will like buffer it out and like complete it. Just
Anyone who
Does
didn't
that
hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yo,
I didn't
do
hear
you mind
any of that.
repeating that? You turned mad robotic right in the middle.
great.
Like right when you said the important thing.
Can you can Mikhail make a document and write down everything that he just learned about the Horn of Winter and the giant civil wars and Maelstrom and all that?
Yeah, you got it.
And don't worry about being perfect. I'll like double check you afterwards. It'll just give me a good starting point. Okay. So Lunara, Wex is still with you. They are scouring the archives to find information about this horn. Everyone's pretty distracted. Now might be a good opportunity if you want to sneak off and like try to grab something.
Yes.
Okay. Are you specifically trying to find a magical instrument?
I'm mostly looking for something like, I guess ideally it would be something that I don't need magical practice to use, like because it's magical and enchanted, I would just know how to use it. I'm just looking for something that could like help us out in battle, because like it's not like I want to go into full-fledged barddom, but it would be kind of funny to just have a trolley instrument that we could pull out when we needed it.
No, I really like that. Okay. Then is that believing that you are let me Hey. Sorry about that.
Hey now.
Okay. So, Lunara, you have an opening. People pretty much believe that you are Wex's assistant. So you can probably convince them that like whatever you're looking for is part of his assignment. What do you want to ask them for? Like, just give me the same thing you just told me, but in the words that you would ask a, receptionist.
I would probably try to play it off with reception. Like, yes, I'm looking for a magical instrument / artifact because I've recently acquired this giant raven and I'm still trying to get it really comfortable with our party and in battle, and lately it's getting really panicked. So I was wondering if we had something that could soothe it or otherwise buff it and my other party members up. Because I want to help my panicky giant raven.
The receptionist is going to look around a little confused and say, "Is this part of the project for the dean?"
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. He's going to flip through the records is going to say, I assume that this is just, for you to, like, research for your own efforts, or for your own, records, and then, like, try to reproduce or something, right? Like, you understand that the things in the library can't just be taken.
Yes, of course. I would be remiss to find out that something went missing from this library. That's so awful.
Fucking, God damn it.
Do that voice a little too well.
I am going to need a bluff check from you.
Okay.
For just this whole conversation.
Okay, is bluff its own thing, or is this what? Deception?
Deception, I think is what it's called.
Yep, good old deception.
Oh, no.
How'd we do?
Uh-oh.
Can I aid that roll?
Yeah.
I thought she slipped away from
Here's what
Wax.
you can do.
Because she hadn't walked all the way away, so I would have overheard this conversation.
Give me some reason that she has advantage.
She's an assistant, and she's not really well versed in what it is she's looking for. I can verify the thing that she's looking for, so I'm basically vouching for her.
Okay, that's a good reason. All right. You have advantage, so actually that's a 21.
Whew.
Not a 6.
Whew.
Good stuff.
Could have also gone with Nar's Iron Mind.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The person at the desk is going to help you find a item that he thinks would, fit your requirements. And he finds... Aeneas, help me out. What do you think that he finds?
I'm kind of digging the idea of, like, a flute.
Like a lute that plays itself?
Ooh. Yeah. Well...
A lute that plays Ragnar the Red, and only Ragnar the Red.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. But, like, would it have the ability to help us in battle, or would this just be, like, a doot-doot machine?
Give me a second.
That is the best description I've ever heard of a flute.
Is it a flute or a lute?
I would prefer a flute, but if we have to go lute, that's fine, too.
Your call. Where's this thing I'm looking for? Here we go. Okay. Okay. Here is what you get. You are going to find a flute that once you blow, it's like a pan flute, and once you blow across the top of it, it's almost like the breath is like echoing in the pipes, and it starts playing this music on its own, and it will play like the entire song by itself. And the song mimics a bardic performance, so whichever person is in possession or currently like is being inspired by the pipes, it affects one person. That person gets a 6-sided dice that they can add to any d20 throw. And the pipes can only be used in this way once per hour.
Okay.
So... There you go. All right. So those are the pipes this person finds. He's going to escort you, or all right. He finds the pipes. He is going to ask if you want to be taken back to, if you want to take them back up to the study area where you can inspect them, and then once you're done, he can return them to the hall for you.
I'm worried because if he takes them out for me and then I don't have them to give back. Oh. Yes, that's fine. I'll think of something. I would love for him to pull them out so I can, go study them.
All right, he pulls them out. He's going to lead you to the study room. It is not necessarily crowded, but it's a big room with, maybe 24 tables at it with different chairs positioned around, and there's bookshelves near each table where you'll occasionally see books just kind of magically floating from the table to the shelf as students are done with them. This is the study area. It is directly next to, or actually I'm going to say this is kind of like the main entrance to the academic stacks, and it's right next to the reception hall to the whole building.
Okay. Is he still there? Like, has he led me to the area and, like, he's about to leave?
Do you want him to still be there? He is there, and then he will leave.
I'm wondering, okay, because you said it's not super crowded. Like, does he generally lead me to my own area where people aren't really, like, paying attention to us?
Correct.
Because...
Yeah.
Could I risk jabbing him with a sleep arrow and, like, just kind of, like, sitting him down and making it look like he's taking a nap?
I'm not going to stop you.
That is what I want to attempt. Like, obviously, I don't want to shoot this thing. I don't want to pull out my bow, but can I maybe...
No,
pull it
you
out
just
of my
grab a
bag
sleep
and
arrow
jam
and
him?
you, like, stab him.
Yes.
All right, here's what I'm going to need you to do. It's just a straight up attack. Do a dagger attack. I think your character has a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
You have advantage. You definitely have advantage. Okay, so you catch this guy off guard. You have 6 sleeping arrows. So this is going to knock you down to 5 sleeping arrows. And what did we have? Did we write down? Where have you been keeping track of like descriptions for stuff like that?
I think I put it on the bio and info. So sleeping arrows
okay,
is
yeah.
DC 15 con, save else sleep, only if not alert.
Okay. One moment. Por favor. NPCs, monsters, miscellaneous humanoids, acolyte. How'd they do?
That's
a 4. That's a 4. Okay. The student, sits you down at the desk and, hands you the flutes. And then he says, will that be all? And then you just, like, poke him in the side with his arrow. And he looks down at it and he goes, very well. And then just kind of, like, slumps face first onto the table.
All right. Now, this is amazing. All right. So... going along with hopefully nobody has taken notice of this, I would like to slip the pipe into, or the flute into my bag and then use disguise self to make me look like the person that I just knocked out.
Fuck.
Nice.
Okay, I think you just look like the person that you just knocked out. you have to Lunara, spells, disguise self. All right, it's verbal and somatic. Okay, so you are going to have to like make some noise as you like chant this and do some like movements. However, this is a magic college. People are casting spells all the time, so it's not suspicious at all.
Nice.
And yeah, you now look like the guy that is sleeping on the table, and you just walk out.
Yup.
And you just walk out. Lunara,
Hey.
You leave the library with your new magic pipes in tow.
Mission accomplished.
I think the only other character that we need to wrap up is Sahbeik.
So
Sahbeik.
how long have we been basically walking around this college campus?
It's the timeline's all goofy. We're gonna basically say it's like 4 o'clock for you. You've only been walking around a while. However, you kind of go like room by room and look in all the rooms, and it takes easily an hour to like walk through the whole building and like look around enough. Especially because sometimes there are like classes that are going on. When there's a class going on, does Sahbeik have the common sense to like check something else and wait for it to let out?
Absolutely not.
I can't imagine that happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So he just like walks into the classroom while it's happening and starts like looking around desks and stuff.
Yep, he just walks in, starts ruffling through books and papers and desks, and doesn't really pay much attention to the students or the
He
class.
definitely at one point just like walks up to somebody's desk and like, you know, grabs the like notebook on their desk and like picks it up to look underneath it and just like tosses it over his shoulder as he walks away.
Yep.
Everyone is very disturbed, but they're all way too intimidated by you to do anything.
So this is
Okay, here's what I wanted to get to. You walk around the building, and you are going to eventually you get to the alchemical section, and you are going to find one of the teachers that is teaching that. This is like not in class. You find an empty classroom that seems to be for potion making, and in across one of the walls are they're catalysts that can they're not consumed by the potion, but they affect what the potion does. And among these catalysts, there are several wooden figurines of representing different types of creatures. One of the wooden figurines is a wooden figurine of the dragon, almost identical to the one that you remember, except that this one is made of white oak instead of the very dark wood, like almost cherry kind of wood that you remember from your procedure.
Word. Okay, so Sahbeik would immediately grab this figurine, not really paying attention to the other stuff that's around it, so it'd probably knock the other stuff out of the way and cause a bit of noise while doing so.
Sure.
Takes it and then pushes any other desks or movable objects that are in the room, pushes them out the way, and just sits down, starts staring intently at the figurine. I would expect somebody to walk in and check on him at some point.
I think that it's not necessarily because of the noise, but oh shit. Oh my god, I am upset about the potential for this scene, but I want to see where it comes. So Sahbeik is sitting on the floor, huge mess around him, staring down at this thing in his hands in a dark room. Another student is I say another. a student is walking past the doorway. She's a really short, maybe part halfling girl. And she's going to look in and see you there and start walking past. And then a second later, she's going to poke her head in the door again. And she's going to very cautiously start walking up to you. And she's going to say, sir, are you okay?
Where is the craftsman?
The crafting people usually work in the other part of the building, in the mechanical section. That would be 3rd and 4th floor.
Sahbeik grumbles and slowly gets up, towering over this halfling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thrusts the toy or the sculpture in her face. He says, "No. Where is the craftsman who made this?"
All right. So she's not so much scared as she is very like concerned, and she's going to kind of like cup Sahbeik's hands as she looks at the object, and she's going to say, "Okay, yeah, this is a biological targeting catalyst. I don't actually know where they buy their catalysts from, but I know that Professor..."
There's coin involved in this.
Okay. Yeah. She hears that, and then she's going to actually do like a shh and like hold a hand up to you. I'm helping. Professor Mortensen is the one who gets all the he handles the inventory for this room. He would have been the one that bought that. He's the one that can tell you where he got it. You want help finding him?
Going slightly vascular, vein kind of popping from his left temple, Sahbeik grits his teeth and asks, "Where is the Mortensen?"
She's going to brush some hair over her ear and say, "All right, well, I don't know off the top of my head if he's in his office, but I can take you to his office and we'll see if he's there. All right? Is that okay?"
Sounds great.
Okay. And she's going to very cautiously like reach up and like do that thing where you like take somebody by the shoulder as you lead them somewhere.
Yeah, I think Sahbeik would pretty obviously not want to be touched, so she'd probably retract that hand.
Okay,
after a look. But yes, Sahbeik would definitely follow her toward wherever she's leading him.
I'm trying
where
to
are
decide
Gimbal and Hogard right now, where this is happening?
They are up on another floor.
Okay.
All right, so it's actually not that late in the day. It's probably only like 5 o'clock that this is happening. I think you are going to catch Professor Mortensen at his desk. He is enjoying a nice submarine sandwich while sitting at his desk.
Hold on 1 second. Before we do that, was the door opened or closed? The door to his office, was it open or closed?
I think it would probably be open. I think during office hours, they usually leave their door open.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's open.
Okay, we can go with open.
Okay, it's open. So Sarah is going to try to go in ahead of you and kind of let him know what's up. Is she able to succeed at that?
I think she would be able to. The whole time while walking towards his office or through whatever hallway you're in before getting there, Sahbeik would probably be scoping out the area around him, trying to just gauge a best method of escape, the layout of the structure, the architecture.
Okay.
And grumbling Mortensen beneath his breath, but loud enough
Okay.
so that you could probably hear it.
Sure. So, Sarah's going to poke her head in, and the professor goes, "Oh, Sarah, how are you doing? What can I do for you tonight?" And she's going to say, "Hey, I found a student who seemed very upset, and he's trying to find some more information about the biological catalysts you've been using or you've been buying for the potions class." And is this about the time that Sahbeik walks into the room?
Yep.
All right. What happens?
Mortensen, this
you-
carving, this statue reminds me of something. Have you ever been to the northern villages?
He's going to take another bite of his sandwich and say, "No, I'm very sorry to say I've never been up that way. Is there a reason?"
Where did you get this from?
He's
Where
going to
did you
say,
buy it
"Oh,
from?"
I just buy that from my usual vendor." Oh God! All right, how am I going to do this? Okay, he has a magical components vendor that he buys from that is we're gonna need a name for this guy. Give me a merchant's name. Somebody.
Beltrand.
Beltrid. Okay. Yeah, there's a merchant named Beltrid. He comes by the university about once a month he'll usually come by. Yeah, he comes by once a month to drop off things and also take the orders for next month. And then, yes, he gives you, the description of Beltrid and what to look for and, where they usually meet him and stuff.
I think at that point, Sahbeik would look down at the carving, look back at Mortensen, kind of chuckle, walk closer, put his hands on the desk, and lean down to him, really close to his face. "And why should I believe that you're telling the truth?"
Fuck. Okay, the professor is going to sort of scratch his chin and say, "Well, I guess that's really a question for the philosophy professors over at the liberal arts class. I mean, I guess you could say that there's really no objective truth and that there's no real reason that you have to believe any one professor more than, any other person."
While he's talking,
I am an
Sahbeik
accredited
takes his
professor.
sandwich.
He takes his sandwich.
He takes his sandwich.
He's going to reach out a hand and say, "No, that was my sandwich."
I don't know if I have to
Sahbeik's
roll
a
for it, but I
monster.
think Sahbeik successfully takes his
Oh
sandwich
no, Sahbeik takes this man's sandwich.
and then bites it. And when he says it, he goes, "Keep talking," chewing very slowly and menacingly.
just kind of mumbles for a bit, and then he's gonna say, "I don't know what to keep talking about. Is there another question?"
Sahbeik puts the sandwich back down in front of him. "Finish up," turns around and walks out the room.
Sarah is very awkwardly scratching her head and says, "Well, I think we made a new friend today," and she's going to walk out.
The only
Right,
reason that
let's
didn't end
see.
in violence is because Gimbal and Hogard were nowhere nearby.
Okay.
That's thoughtful.
So, here's
Just so
what
you
I'm
know.
going to give. Beltrid, correct, was the name of that NPC?
Yes, Beltrid. So this wasn't expressed at any point, but the reason Sahbeik, well, one of the reasons, aside from it being carved like a dragon, that Sahbeik is looking so intently at this carving is that you said it was white oak. White oak happens to be a kind of tree that grows around the northern villages where Sahbeik is from. So that ties, or possibly ties in his mind, the alchemist to the religious clergy in his village.
Interesting. Okay. And also,
I really wanted to do a Jules and Pulp Fiction scene, but you know, the halfling didn't give me any reason to. Oh, did I break your concentration towards Morton? So you know.
Oh, can we please get like a thing to go back in time? I need that role play.
No, I'm.
She was
really
too damn
happy
nice,
with how that
man.
scene went. I'm really happy with how that scene went because I really wanted to do a like totally sympathetic character interacting with Sahbeik when Sahbeik like has no chill, and it went really well.
Yeah, you didn't have to go like full Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chop up your dad.
So, I think everybody has accomplished what they were trying to do today.
Yeah, that was
Sahbeik,
pretty cool.
Sahbeik, what is your goal with Beltrid? How do you want
I'm
to go
going
about
to ask Beltrid where he got the wood for the carving and where he got the motivation to carve it into that shape.
Okay.
Again, trying to connect the dots between the alchemist and the clergy.
So, Beltrid won't be back to the school for... Jeez. The logical part of my brain says it would probably just be totally random when the next time he would show up is.
Yeah, this
but
doesn't need to be an immediate resolve.
The storyteller in me says that we have to resolve this before we can move on. So I think conveniently, Beltrid is due for another visit. Let's say he's due for another visit tomorrow. Why not?
Sounds
Nail
good.
it all down in one place. Okay, so you guys all finish your goals. You can find guest seating in the or guest rooms in the dormitories for a temporary stay overnight. The next morning, you have your negotiation with Professor DeGolf and get the money that we talked about last time. It is now time for you guys to go. We're going to address Sahbeik's thing in a second. The other thing I wanted to know about is, at this point, you guys have had the chance to hear the story that I posted in Discord the other day about Gimbal's two weapons. And those two confirmed that the sword is, in fact, the same giant slaying sword that you guys thought was owned by Parthos, the friend of Ergala Meltimer, who you guys met in the city of Tribor. Look at me with my nouns. Remembered all of those.
Slow clap.
Thank you. Because the sword that you were going to Harthos to retrieve is already in your possession, you guys don't necessarily need to still go visit him. However, you do know that he was estranged from his son, and you guys also know that his son is dead. So if you want, there's, it would probably be a very nice Samaritan act to go find Harthos and tell him about what happened to his son. But you guys are by no means obligated to do that. If you don't want to do that, I have another quest hook to get us moving forward.
Sorry, his son is Captain Bennett?
No, his son was the man that Captain Bennett killed and took the weapon from.
Oh,
He was
Mercy.
named Harthel and was the husband of Marcy.
Okay.
Where would that take us back to, map-wise?
Okay. So, switching over to the map of the North again. You guys would take a portal from Neverwinter to the city of Everland, and then you would have to travel north and then west to Symorvan Hall. It would probably be, I don't know, a week's journey.
How's everyone feeling about that? Anyone feel any particular love for telling this dude about his dead son?
Sahbeik's kind of just gonna sit in the middle of the campus until tomorrow.
Vanitas would like to, because Vanitas understands the point of closure for family members. So, I wouldn't mind, but that's just his point of view.
Well, Hogard seconds that. Then he thinks that's a nice gesture.
Yeah. Gimbal wants to do it for Mercy.
Okay. Great. I do want to be clear. Marcy has no love lost with this guy because this guy disowned his son for marrying Marcy. That said,
But does Gimbal
still
know
a
that?
nice thing to do, huh?
Does Gimbal know that?
Yeah, Marcy told him that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's a chance that he'll see Mercy again. That in his crazy brain, he's thinking that maybe Mercy will be there in the middle of punching him in the face or something, and that like he'd be able to see her again.
Okay. No, I like this. I think that it's very reasonable just to say that his brain connects, oh, this is a person associated with Marcy. I need to follow through on this. Okay. So is anybody opposed to that plan?
Yeah, so what would you wrap that and then like do a little bit of preamble for going to the next spot?
We're gonna wrap up the university and then we're going to end with you guys on the road towards Symorvan Hall because the next few side quests and stuff that I have planned, next few plot points, happen along the way to there.
Okay, that's cool. I'm
Unless you
perfectly
guys
fine
had
with
chosen
that.
to do something else, in which case I would have done something else. All right. We're back to the university. It is you guys have just finished your negotiations with and the Beltrid is due to be meeting with the alchemical professors in the like merchants section in the kind of like parking lot area of the campus in just a few minutes. So, Sahbeik, safe to assume that you head down there? Okay. You head down to the parking lot.
Did not realize I was muted. Yeah.
I actually heard you through Aeneas' speaker.
Oh.
Very, very softly. I thought you were standing very far away from the speaker.
That's what it sounded like.
Okay, so you make your way to the like air quotes parking lot area where all these like caravans are dropping students off, dropping supplies and stuff off, and you see the professor that you were speaking to the other day, Professor Mortensen, speaking with a sort of like rugged, half orcish. You know what? He's just a rugged orcish, like caravan kind of guy. Yeah.
Okay.
There's this thing in Dungeons and Dragons where we treat all like orcs that exist in society as half orcs and all orcs that are just like savage beasts as full orcs, and that's real
Racism.
fucked up. Yeah, it's real racist. We're not doing that. Yeah, this guy's he's just an orc. He's an orc merchant. He's got pretty nice clothes, but he looks like he's, a guy who lives on the road. He's got a sort of caravan thing behind him with supplies, and he is negotiating with Professor Mortensen. And what do you do?
I think Sahbeik would walk up with a very mischievous grin on his face and clasp Mortensen on the back and say, "Hey, how was that sandwich? Who's your friend here? Introduce me."
Mortensen is going to grin very nervously and say, "Hello, young. This is my friend Beltrid, who I was telling you about, who I was telling you would be here at this time to come meet him."
Ah, Beltrid, just the man I was waiting to see. Sahbeik
Okay,
then
and
pulls
Mortensen
out-
is like slipping out under your grasp and getting some distance.
So Sahbeik would pull the carving out of one of his pockets on his duster.
Mhm.
And,
By the way, Beltrid has a just to check, Sahbeik's duster is not from his village, right? It's like a thing he picked up as a traveler.
correct. So it doesn't.
Beltrid has a almost identical duster. It's like the same kind of person.
That son of a bitch.
Oh, you also wear Michael Kors. Wonderful.
So he holds the carving up between his pointer and his thumb and says, "Where'd you get this from?"
Beltrid is going to say, "Hold. I have to decide if there's any side quests I can make this sync up with."
Hmm.
All right.
Has the party gotten their money yet, or whatever?
Yes, we've gotten our money.
Excellent.
Yeah, we
Um,
added it last game.
Did we divvy that up?
Here we go. Loudwater?
Oh, no, never
or-
mind. I'm giving it away.
I mean, you guys kept some of it. That's already been figured out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can minimize this. Can minimize this too. Okay. I'm going to tentatively say that he buys those from a merchant in the city of Loudwater.
Is that what he says?
Yes.
Ah, very
Pending
forthcoming. Thank
redaction
you.
if I need it.
Very forthcoming. Thank you for telling me that. And why should I believe you?
He's going to say, because I'm a merchant and I don't lose any money by telling you this?
Face punch.
Why? Why?
Okay. He is going to, you face punch him and he is like, I need this to be a, like that scene in Full Metal Alchemist where Armstrong meets the other massive dude who's married to the trainer
Right.
woman.
Yeah.
You just punch him in his face and he rocks backwards for a second and then he rocks forwards and he punches you in the face. He's going to take a step back and kind of flex and say all right. Now then, as I was saying,
So where did he say it was from again? Loudwater?
Loudwater is where the person who makes those lives.
So are you going to make me ask my next question?
I don't know what your next question
Who
is.
the fucking Loudwater made this?
I should have been able to see that next question coming. Fuck, man.
Sorry, Brent.
All right, give me another proper name. Give me a merchant name or a craftsman's name.
Barnes.
Hugor.
No, too many B's. Hugor. Yeah.
Oh.
Hugor.
Barnes and Noble.
All right, there we go. And we will leave that as a quest hook. Is it safe to, for narrative purposes, can we say that Sahbeik is going to kind of like hold on to this information and just like aim to swing by Loudwater in the future?
Yes.
But is able to like move on with his life for a while until then?
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Because I will absolutely swing back on that as long as I remember. Make notes of that. I'm not keeping notes of these things, so write that down
Gotcha.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's in my bio.
Okay. Then, so you guys have, as far as I can tell, completed all of your business in Neverwinter University. Do you guys have anything you need to complete in Neverwinter before you travel over to Everland?
I'm gonna go and ask why it's Neverwinter here.
They're going to say
always
it's
been
actually a fallaciously named. It's kind of a misnomer. We get very long and upsetting winters. I think it might have been like an optimistic name. Like they thought that if they named it that, it would just come true. It's not true. Winter here sucks.
Who told me that?
It's actually just going to be a student who's walking past you as you ask that question out loud. And this student is actually going to be Sarah, who talked to Sahbeik the other day.
Oh, that rules out my next idea.
Which was?
Punching her in the face.
But I wouldn't do that to Sarah. She's a nice lady.
She's very nice.
Just so you know, Sahbeik was kind of appreciative of the face punch. I kind of speak in the language of violence, so it was kind of like a handshake.
Oh yeah, no, this is. I want to think that Beltrade is like very much cut from the same cloth as Sahbeik, just with less of the tragic backstory. Okay.
His duster was literally cut from the same cloth.
Possibly. So you guys, well, not cloth, leather. They're different. You guys
Cut from the same cow.
are going to split ways with Nartha Tezrin, the name of the merchant who you came to this university with. Bam! I'm so good at this. Why are there so many proper nouns? Dungeons and Dragons, why do you do this to me?
Was Lindsay
All
just
right.
laughing at you?
You guys have finished business in Neverwinter. Nartha Tezrin will travel back to the town of Tribor and drop off the money that you raised for the town so that they can rebuild. In the meantime, you guys are going to split ways with her at the teleportation circle. You guys are going to the city of Everland, while she is going to Tribor. Technically, she's going to Yarder and then to Tribor. From Everland, you guys are going to make your way to Zymorvan Hall. It's 10:04, so I think we're ending this game. We're not doing anything else. We're just going to wrap up.
Word.
Correct.
Good.
All right.
As I was muted again.
So the one other thing, the point No, I don't think that's a good way. So I have a few things that are going to happen on the road on the way to Zymorvan Hall. But for now, I think we're done.
Alrighty.
I was not expecting to spend as long at Neverwinter University as we did, but we got
No, that's cool. That's cool nonetheless.
No, we got some like really good stuff. We had like multiple significant like plot lines that happened in this game. I like it.
Yeah, it was good. Bouncing all
Hey,
over the
Mikhail,
place.
you've been recording these, right?
Yes, I have.
Oh, thank God. Okay. What am I doing? We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We were just saying that next
yeah.
game we're going to start with some stuff that happens on the road.
Yep.
So real quick, before she leaves for Tribor, I'm giving her my autograph and telling her to look for a goblin guard by the name of Nibblesnarf and give it to him.
Okay, he does not live in Tribor. He lives in the town.
Oh, that was Nightstone.
Nightstone.
Oh, never mind.
Which is very far away.
I mixed up the names.
He's offended.
However,
autographs and shit. Damn.
Here's what I'll give you. After returning to Tribor to drop off your payment, we can say that she's going to go on a merchant tour of the southern coast, which is going to swing her by Waterdeep, which is right next to Nightstone.
Well, that works then.
There we go.
You threw me a bone and I caught it.
There we go. Okay, are we good?
We
I
good.
believe so.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Good game.
Very
All
good
right.
game.
Okay,
Everyone
y'all.
likes this.
All right.
See ya.
See you next
All
time.
right, all.
Okay.
Till next time.
So,
All right, see ya.
Bye.
there's this.
Have a good one.